Greeting and praises in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I thank our department, head of the department, Dr. Violet Devaran, given a great opportunity for that e-content. The topic is the bioinorganic chemistry. I am Professor Arul, PG and Research, Department of Chemistry. So the topic is essential elements and non-essential elements. So this is what contains like this. What are the classification of metal ions and what is the biological significance of sodium and potassium, magnesium, calcium, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc and chlorine. So we are going to discuss about what is the structures and functions of hemoglobin and myoglobin and chlorophyll. What are the needs? We are the essentials. What are non-essential elements in our bio? First of all, we are going to discuss about the living bodies contain at least 30 elements which divided into essential elements and non-essential elements. And our living bodies, more than 30 elements, minimum 30 elements are which are divided into two parts. Number one, essential and non-essential elements. The essential elements, it's need for us. The water is the elixir of life, Without water, we cannot live like this. Without breath, we cannot live like this. And the same thing, the essential elements are defined as those elements which are required to maintain the normal living state of tissues, or it may be whole of the body. These are divided into macro elements and micro elements. This is its important role in our human being, macro elements and micro elements. What are macro elements? These are the elements which are required to be present in the diet to the extent of the more than 1 milligram. This is what macromolecules. This is the elements which are required. We need energy. We need extra energy. We need strength. Means these are we need. For example, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sodium, and potassium, and etc. Calcium. Okay, we need the bone strength, magnesium, the chlorophyll, magnesium, iron content, and phosphorus, sulfur, and chlorine. These are the combination. These are the elements or macro. They need our requirement, our body also. What is the micro? What is the trace elements or minimum or tiny? That is also need on our human body. So micro elements like that, which is defined as those which are required in the very small amount. This trace or it may be tiny particles, say to the extent of the micrograms or nanograms in the body. Example is copper, zinc, cobalt, cadmium, manganese, and F2 like that. So these are the micro elements. Regarding our human body, we need the macro elements and micro elements. More than 71 elements are in the human body. Probably the 71% of water is okay in our body. No harm, no diseases, no any diseases like this. So this is what it's example. So the previous we discussed about what is the essential. These are the macro and micro, and also non-essential elements. The functions of the elements are not clearly known, but hence they are called on non-essential elements. Some of the toxic in nature, that is poisonous also. Example, bromine, boron, and silicon, arsenic, and nickel, aluminium, plumb, lead, and vanadium, and titanium present in the body. If we have any toxic elements in the non-essential, what we can get a disease. Suppose if we have more trace element like that selenium, it leads to cancer. And also if you take more than aluminium in our body, that will leads to cancer will become. The most of that elements are unwanted, that is called non-essential elements. So what is the biological? We are going to discuss about what is the biological significance of zinc. Zinc is innate for us. Zinc ion is widely distributed in the vegetables and animals food. When you take vegetables, like that human body requires for only for 0.3 milligram per kilogram of the body per day. Each and every single day we need at least 0.3 milligram per kilogram in our human body. And zinc is also integral part of the several biochemical important enzymes such as uricase, carbonic anhydrase, and liver alcohol dehydrogenase, and carboxypeptides, and kidney phosphatase, etc. So zinc is the key role and important role in the biological significance in our human body. Insulin contains zinc, and during diabetes, those who are affected in type 1 or type 2 sugar, that is insulin contains what happened, zinc and during the diabetes, the total zincs will be reduced to half in the pancreas. Okay, and low quantity of the zinc result in poor body and poor growth. So this is the biological significance of what is called zinc. At same thing, another significance we are going to see, biological significance of what is cobalt. Cobalt is the essential content vitamin B12. The another name is called cyanocobalamin. The chemical name of this vitamin is cyanocobalamin. Cobalt is required to maintain normal functions of the bone marrow in the producing of erythrocytes. So this is the main significance of the cobalt. Where the deficiency of cobalt leads to what happened? Limited supply of the vitamin B12, which leads to the nutritional type of anemia, that is blood related disease like this. Those who are very weakness, those who are very poor, those who are not in active in nature, whether sitting or riding and going, it always they have very poor in nature. The strength means that is anemia. So excess of the cobalt produce more erythrocytes, and it causes why? Polycythemia like this. So this is what called biological significance of cobalt. That is also important. And the third one is we are going to discuss about what is the biological significance of copper. So copper ions present in water from some complexes readily at a pH range 6.5 to 10. The complex is the ion which humic acid is reduced to the toxicity. So the soluble copper ion present in water can also be removed by reagent like sodium or ammonium acetate, hydroxylamine. So ammonium acetate, hydroxylamine, hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen fluoride, etc. So that is the integral part of the certain enzyme which is essential for their activity, such as cytochrome and what is called catalysis, uric acid. So that is the biological significance of copper. This enzyme contains much as 550 milligram of copper per gram of the enzyme protein. So copper is also postulated to help in the bone formations and maintenance of the myelin sheath in the nerve fibers. So it is a biological significance of what is called copper. And also chloride ion. This is also one of the major role in our human body. The harmless amount of the chloride in water is around 250 to 300 ppm. The most important sources of the chlorine together with the sodium is in the diet as a common salt. So sodium is very, very important. If you are in giddiness, or if you are in the pressure is low, or it may be migraine like that, etc., that the disease will come like that, only we can give soda. That soda is consist of like this sodium chloride with the chloride ion. That will be helpful to retain the energy. That is, the healthy individual is rarely subject to the chlorine deficiency. Sometimes if we have a diarrhea, or it may be vomiting, or extreme precipitation cause of the deficiency, only because of the chlorine and what is called sodium. That's what we are going to take each and every day. We are going to take the banana. So banana is the consist of what? Potassium like that, So the biological aspects, whatever we take, vegetables, or it may be non-vegetarian or vegetarian, like any food, or whether if it is consist of somewhat the elements are present in, whether if it is essential or non-essential, that is, it's very, very important. Regarding the biological significance of chloride in coexisting heart diseases, that is not cardiovascular, or maybe hypertension or BP, low BP or high BP or high blood pressure, and kidney disease, like where the salt will settle down in the kidney, that will be create the stones, and sodium and chloride restricted diet in the suggested. So when you take minimum, it is no problem. When it is moderate, it is no problem. But when you take more, that will be affected in the chloride ion also. And biological significance of sodium and potassium and chloride, when we discuss about the sodium and potassium and chlorine have intimate relations among them, thus the metabolic and nutritional importance of these elements. It is the very important in this. In common salt or table salt or sodium chloride is the most important source of the two elements of sodium and chlorine. So when you mix together sodium with the chlorine, we can get sodium chloride. And plants containing less amounts of sodium, while potassium is found in the majority of the foods, both animal and plants in the sources. Already I told you know that the potassium is consist of the banana. Sources of the potassium, we can say coffee, tea and potatoes, dried beans and green and leafy vegetables, and milk and bananas and juice of oranges and pineapple. So beef and fish. So maximum the sources of the potassium is there. So regarding potatoes and oranges like this, so that is the biological significance of sodium and potassium and chlorine. Here the functions on sodium and potassium ion, it is a major role. So maintenance of the normal hydration and osmotic pressure. So these ions are maintain the normal osmotic pressure of the different fluids in the body. This will prevent the excessive loss of fluids and thus dehydrations. When the removal of water from our body, so water is the elixir of life. We take more than 3 to 5 liters per day. If you take more than 3 to 50, the 50% of water will come out from the dehydrations. If it is not come outside, that means that this is also some of the disease. So maintain of the normal acids, the basic equilibrium. Salt of the weak acid plus sodium or potassium ion form the maintained buffer system, which plays on a vital role in the maintaining the pH value of various fluids of the body. So sodium salts of buffer system of extracellular fluids, while potassium salt form buffer system of intracellular fluids. So buffer, it's maintain the pH value also. Transport of the carbon dioxide. Sodium and potassium ion along with the chloride ion plays the important role in the transporters of gaseous carbon dioxide. And neuromuscular irritability, like that, sodium and potassium ions are important in maintaining the neuromuscular irritability and excitability. So this is the functions of sodium and potassium ions in our body. And biological significance of iron. This is also key role in our human body. We need iron strength also. From iron we can take the leaves, green leaves, like that, iron is essential in a small amount of both plants and animals. However, like copper and selenium, it is a toxin in large quantities. Biologically, iron is the most important transition element. It is involved in the several different processes. As an oxygen carrier in the blood of mammals, birds and fish, like hemoglobin, for oxygen storage in muscle tissues, as an electron transfer in plants and bacteria, and electron transfer in bacteria, for storage and scavenging Fe, iron in the animals. The human body contains 4 grams of iron. About % of this found to be the hemoglobin, the red pigment in the erythrocyte red blood cells. So in our human body there are 2 blood cells are there, white blood cells and red blood cells. That is what it is. The body contains the 4 grams of iron, about of this found the hemoglobin. The major role in heme, that is what iron part is there. And another important essential elements in the human body is magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most important elements that affect numerous processes inside our body. That is activity of enzymes. Magnesium vital role in the crucial role in the biochemical reactions occurring in our body. So magnesium acts as an enzyme cofactor, plays an important role in the breaking of glucose and fat molecules, in the production of enzymes and proteins and regulation of cholesterol. So protector of human DNA also, deoxynucleic acid. DNA synthesis is not possible without the supplement of what is called sufficient supply of what is called magnesium. So this is what is an important role. And calcium, it's a strength, it's a bone strength. Calcium is mainly found in the bones and teeth of the living beings. So calcium helps in the blood clotting. Deficiency of calcium increases the blood clotting in time. And calcium support muscle contractions. The deficiency of the metal leads to the disorder of nerves, where the nerves problem will come only because of the lack of deficiency of the calcium is there. And calcium vital role in the plays significant in the metabolism of the nitrogen in the plants also. So absence of this mineral in the plants affect the size and the number of the chloroplast also. This is the backbone of our human body. The calcium, it's a main role in our human body. And hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the red pigment of blood and it's a chloroprotein which contains heme units attached to the polypeptide chain. The heme units are ferroprene units which carry oxygen in the blood. So this is the important role and important elements in the human body. The two component portions of the hemoglobins are globin and ferroporphyrin. This is globin part, this is heme part. The iron compounds or porphyrins can exist in the two forms, divalent ion, ferroporphyrin. It is known as the heme. This group has to no net charge. But trivalent ion, Fe3+, ferroporphyrin, it is known as hemine. So this group has net positive charge. So this is hemoglobin, it's very variant. Heme one part and globin one part. So a 2+ in ferrous, in divalent ion, and another one is trivalent ion. That is Fe2+ and Fe3+. This is what hemoglobin. So heme and other similar chelates of divalent metal ions exist in the square planar forms, DsP2 like this. And the hemine is usually obtained the chloride. The resulting penton coordinated complex is essentially square pyramidal. So the chloride anion is bound only coordinated but not electrostatically to the ion and the perpendicular to the plane of porphyrin. This is ion, this is the part like this. Another one is myoglobin. Heme is also important biologically in myoglobin, which is used to store dioxygen in muscles. Myoglobin is one of the similar to one of the units in hemoglobin. So it is contained only for a ferrous atom, as a molecule weight of about 1700 and binds to 0 to more strongly than hemoglobin. So this is what myoglobin. So this is what oxymyoglobin with the higher oxidation, what happened? Myoglobin, which on further low oxide we can met myoglobin, which is brownish red Fe3+, which is converted Fe2+ into Fe3+, where the carbon monoxide we can see carboxy myoglobin is there, that is bright cherry red color it's formed. So this is the reaction of it. And finally we are going to discuss about the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green coloring matter in the plants, especially leaves. It is found in definite protoplasmic bodies and called in chloroplast. So chloroplast mainly contain in 4 different pigments. Number 1, 2 yellow pigments, catechins and xanthales, and 2 green pigments. And chlorophyll, the nature chlorophyll is a mixture of 2 different chlorophylls, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, which are found in the ratio 3:1 in the higher plants. In algae, the ratio is much higher than 3:1. Moreover, there are some algae which do not contain chlorophyll B at all. Biologically, chlorophyll is a very important natural pigment is responsible directly or indirectly for the synthesis of all kinds of food. Example, carbohydrates and proteins and fats and also vitamins also. This is chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is absorbs light energy and it is this activated form. It reduces to carbon dioxide forming a carbohydrate type molecule with the elevation of what is called oxygen photosynthesis. We know, we discussed in the previous school age what is photosynthesis. Okay. Moreover, the chlorophyll also maintain the carbon dioxide oxygen equilibrium in atmosphere as oxygen is given out the expansion of carbon dioxide. So this is the chlorophyll A, this is chlorophyll B. The structure is chlorophyll. The main transition metal in the chlorophyll is magnesium. Here is there and here magnesium is there. So this is what chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Okay. And regarding this essential and non-essential, in university or end semester or any questions, the questions like this may be asked, explain the structure and functions of hemoglobin and what is called chlorophyll. In short answers, they ask what are the essential elements and importance of sodium and potassium in the biological system, and also explain about metalloporphyrin. So this is what in bioinorganic we can see essential and non-essential. There are two things we discuss. Number one, what are the essential elements, what are non-essential. Regarding non-essential, we don't want to discuss about, but we discuss for essential elements. Start from essential elements, macro elements and micro elements. And other individual we can discuss what is the significance of sodium, what is the significance of chloride, what is the significance of chlorophyll, what is the significance or biological significance. These are the things we are going to discuss. Thank you.